Learning how to use your iPad, you should start with this bottom row here. And the bottom row involves your general settings, Safari, which is your access to the internet, your mail, your photos, and your music. So let's go to the settings. This is what I want to focus in on today, is the settings button. So let's choose settings now. And let's see what settings involves. These are the general settings. I am hooked up to Wi-Fi is on, as you can see, and I have my home internet on there. Listed, I have my air printer, and when you're at the school, you should see the school air printer. And you will see Sacred Heart as your Wi-Fi system. As I go over to here, airplane mode is shut off. It is really not needed if you're in the school. Wi-Fi, the airplane mode is if you have Wi-Fi beyond a Wi-Fi region. For instance, like on your cell phones, you have constant Wi-Fi, you pay for that data usage. You will not have that on your iPads unless you decide to pay for data usage to have it work continually, not just when you're in a Wi-Fi enabled area. Okay, so that's something important to understand and to know. You should have join networks switch to the on button. That way there, whenever you are in an area with Wi-Fi, it will hopefully pick up on the Wi-Fi that's in the area. So that's a good button to have on. So I'm going to now go to push the general button over here. And this is going to give me some more information. Software updates, make sure there's usually a number there if you need them. Make sure you're always doing your updates. I will cover that also in the bottom of this TAC with information on updating your apps, which is really important to do, so please don't avoid it. Siri, you should have, well, it's up to you. You can have it on. To use Siri, you push and hold your home button, and you speak into your iPad or to find things on your iPad. So try it, play with it, have some fun with it. Text size, if you need a bigger text size for visual issues, use that. Accessibility is for a lot of different issues, including hearing. So if you need that, you can use those. Lock rotation, not needed. Mute, you want to be able to mute your iPad on occasion. If I move down, and you can see background app refresh, look at this for a second because this is helpful. If you read where it says allow apps to refresh their content when on Wi-Fi or cellular or use location services, turning off apps may help preserve your battery life. So remember that. You might want to every so often just turn this on and refresh any of them, but this does use up some battery life, so be aware of that. If you are having battery issues, this is one way to help solve that issue. The other thing I want you to look at is the auto lock. Have that go on within 2 minutes. The reason why, that also helps to preserve your battery, and it will kind of like shut it off after 2 minutes, so that's good. Date and time you don't need. On keyboard, that's a fun thing to play with. On keyboards, you can add keyboards, see keyboards there, and split keyboard on. Split keyboard lets you take your 2 fingers and spread the keyboard apart so you have 2 separate little keyboards. But when you go to keyboards, this is fun to have. I can have English and German. But if I want to add a new keyboard, if you're taking Chinese or as we go down, you're taking French or you're taking Spanish, because Spanish is on here too, you can enable a Spanish keyboard. So that might be helpful if you're writing things in Spanish. So be aware of that. That's a nice availability to have. Okay, so that pretty much, let me see, covers most of what I needed or wanted to cover on here. International, that again, if I click on that, that's going to go to different languages. You can choose a different language that you want to use, and it says I have the 2 keyboards on. Okay, so I'm going to next go to the wallpaper. You probably have all figured this out already, but you can choose a new wallpaper. It can be from your photos. You can also, when you go to choose wallpaper, pick one of the basic ones that Apple provides, so feel free to use those, or of course anything from your camera roll, create one there. I'm going to show you how to create a picture that has maybe your name written on it, so you can help individualize your iPad so that if you leave it someplace, somebody looks at the lock screen, they can figure out immediately who it belongs to and return it to you without any problems. Just bring it to Mary Carroll at the front desk and she'll call your name and your iPad can be returned to you. Okay, sounds. This is if you want to change the sounds that go with any of these abilities on your iPad. So, for instance, when you sent mail has a swoosh sound, you can change those sounds if you want. So you can play with that. Again, push all the buttons if you want, individualize your iPad. Passcode, if you need to change your passcode, this is how you will do it. That allows the lock on your iPad, so know how to use that. Privacy, oh, cancel. Privacy is, again, that gives you, this is important to know. If you're using different apps, some of them require you to access your photos or the microphone. So if I, for instance, tap on photos, this is going to show me all the apps that have access to my photos. If you're not able to use photos with one of the apps, maybe this hasn't been turned on or enabled, so go back and fix that. It might be the same thing with microphone. If you upload a app that requires the microphone and it's not working, check here to see if it's working there. Okay, so that's important to know. iCloud. iCloud, now here is my iCloud account. I use it separate, and if you go here, you'll get more information, storage plan and all of that. So, and your password. iCloud and iTunes generally are the same information, the same identity, and the same password. Please do not forget what those are, those passwords. I always go to Notes, and in Notes, I make a page that says passwords, and I keep all my passwords there. You should have a different password for every different software application you're using. That is really important. Okay, just keep track of them. Mail, if you need to add a new account, I have a lot of email accounts, but if you need to add an account, this is how you do it. You would go to add account and just follow the directions as to where they are. Okay, so that's nice. You can have all your email in one place. So that's basically what I want to show you there. The other thing I do want to show you is if I focus in on the notes, I want to show you how I do have, if you look, passwords. I created a page that literally has all my passwords. Yes, I'm showing them all to you. There are a lot, as you can see. And the reason being, again, is that I feel that it's really important to write them all down because you will forget them if you don't have them written down. So let me think, is there anything else I want to do? Just make sure that you have pages in iCloud backed up to iCloud, back up everything. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to show you is I have put some web pages on my home screen. That's really important if your teacher has a website that they're using. So I want to show you quickly how to do that. And the way I'm going to do that is you go in through Safari. And let me just quickly look and see if on my bookmarks I have it. I might have a site here that I want to put on. Let me see. I have all of these, but I'm not seeing my web page. I do have a web page, so I just wanted to see if I could find it here. I'm not seeing there, but let's say I just pick any web page. For instance, Spin Education is my friend's blog. So it's going to go to Spin Education, which is my friend's blog, and he has a web page, and I love to follow it. My friend David Cutler writes this. So I want to add this to my home screen. So I go to this button here, and you have AirDrop and add to home screen. That's what you push, and then it says, it gives it and it says add. So what I'm doing is I'm adding it, and now if I go back here and I look, there it is on my home screen. So anytime I want to access that web page, I just simply click on almost like the app that I created for it, and it will be, and I can look at that web page. You can do that with all of your teachers' websites to keep track of them, and I highly suggest you do, especially if your teachers are using the calendar and posting assignments there. So please be aware that that's an important thing, and you might even want to group all of your all of your teachers' web pages into a one little block like that. That's called teachers' web pages. Okay, so consider doing that, and hopefully I've taught you some important information to use with your iPad. Look at the rest of the information on this tack.